talk to you a little bit um, about your boards, right? Um,
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about how did you come up with the idea? Like, where'd the idea come from?
To do the
Yeah, like,
boards
okay,
itself.
so I'm gonna paraphrase right now. So like, just stick with me and don't get mad. I'm
Okay.
Timmy, and all of a sudden I got this idea, and I'm gonna I'm gonna take my art and I'm gonna merge it with a board. Like, how did it happen to go
Hmm.
to a functional board? Like, how did that marriage
Yeah.
happen? Like, I want to hear that.
No, that's a valid question. I briefly touched on it in the beginning that like it came up when I was meditating. I just wanted to help people. I wanted to help who helped me, and I wanted to do something that made me happy. So, like I said, I always did art. As a kid, I always painted, pissed my parents off and painted murals on the sheetrock in the bedrooms. Like
I hope
I
my
always
kids
did
don't
that
watch this because
stuff,
I'm
and
laughing.
I skated as a kid. Just I was never really good at skateboarding, but I did. I could cruise around, and it was enjoyable. And a lot of people use skateboarding as therapy, just because you're in the zone, you're in
Yeah,
nature most of the time, outside, and nothing else matters. And it's so true. Same with surfing, same with cycling, whatever you get
yeah.
your mind into. Um, and I collected cool skateboards from other companies that I had in my garage and on my walls and stuff. Like I'm like, I could do so much better and have a meaning behind it and give back. So that's just really where I really wanted to go. I wanted to have my own thing that I could share with people and have it resonate with them on an emotional level. Um, so most of my purchasers, my customers are older men who've never skateboarded, but they either served in the military or they're a career fireman or their father was a cop, something like that. And they hang them on their wall and they're like, yeah, I'm not a skater, but this means so much to me. Or I created the Mission Within board because that's the retreat I went to. They're amazing. And so other alumni who've gone to that retreat and they've seen these, they buy them. And I get messages all the time from badass Delta dudes and recon guys. They're like, dude, I look at this board I have sitting in the corner or hanging on my wall, and it's a memento of it reminds me of all the shit I went through and how I healed and who helped me heal. And I look at it every day. It makes me feel good. And when I get those messages, that's what keeps me going. Like hearing people's testimonies. Like I'm not paying the bills with this yet. I'm not. So there's days in business, and I'm sure uh, I feel like I'm a complete failure, and I'm like, why am I doing this? And I should just go get a 9 to 5 and support my family that way, and not be present and just pay the bills. And then I'll get a message like that, or a 10-minute video somebody posted once, sharing about the board and then talking about their life and how broken they were, and that having this board helped them share their story and feel better and helped heal others. So that's why I'm keeping doing it, and I'm going to continue to keep doing it, and hopefully grow it and help spread the message, share information about the medicine that healed me and heals so many people and can heal a whole lot more, but government's getting away and whatnot, and then finances because it's not legal here or there, So I want to help support and you know cushion that burden, the financial burden, to help others go through the program. And there's multiple programs, but the Mission Within is the one that I went through,
Yeah,
and I am. They saved my
man,
life,
that's powerful.
and so that's why I call them save a life
Yeah,
boards because the proceeds are going to help save a life.
yeah, I love it. So like I had Like I just had like this moment of like, pause for a minute, like save a life board.
Yeah.
The things that I get a front row view to by doing this are remarkable, and I'm so very humbled to be able to. Sometimes I don't have words. I do. I say I do it for others, and sometimes, you know what? I think it actually might be for me. But um, um, tell me about how you make the boards.
Yeah. So, that's a good question. So I draw most of my stuff by hand initially, come up with my designs, uh, scan it. I'm terrible with electronics and like I'm still working on my VCR,
I'm
man.
surprised you're able to figure
Still
out
got
the
some.
podcast. I mean, like I was a little worried about it, but I mean, you got here.
Yeah, I got here. So I'm terrible with that stuff. So I'm super old school, draw by hand, scan it, some of the stuff, and then get it online and start tweaking, adding colors. I'm really new to this new stuff, and there's amazing programs out there. I'm just not savvy yet with it. Uh, so I'm getting it online, getting it in good JPEG formats and good resolution. I do woodwork therapy, so I was doing woodwork, and I tried layering them myself, the plies of the board and pressing it and all that, and it was just too much. So I did some research, and there's third party companies out there that I can send the art to, and they put it on the boards and send back to me. No need to reinvent the wheel. It cost me a lot more money and time to do it 100% myself. So that's really where I'm
Yeah,
at right
and
now.
there's no shame in that, bud.
Uh,
Like,
no, not at all. It's
I think that's smart because what you're doing is you're getting your
yeah.
foundation set up, right? And you can build to those
Hmm.
things, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I already have. I want to be able to be 100% in house. I know exactly what machines I need. I know the cost points. I know all that, but
Yeah,
money.
and
So I'm doing what I can at the moment, and it's helping others, and that's all
you'll
that
get there.
matters.
I believe in you.
Yeah,
You'll get there.
yeah.
And I got you
Thank you.
connected in with some people that I know in a network to start. And so,
I
and
appreciate you.
that network at Warrior Rising is going to help you. I have
Yeah,
confidence in that network coming through for you. So I believe that this mission, this cause, it's so well positioned for what they do and how they do things that man, I'm going to be a cheerleader for you in that one. I promise you. And there's a lot of
thanks,
cool
brother.
cool things that organization does. Um, so so you're doing the artwork, you're getting it done, you're having it, you're partnering with somebody to help you do the manufacturing, which I think
Yes, yeah.
is like it's keeping your cost structure low and you're scalable from that perspective right now.
All all U.S. based. Yeah, the highest quality. I'm not compromising on quality because yes, most of the time they hang on the wall, but these are also the best quality you can get if you were to ride, whether street or vert or whatnot. So it could reach multiple markets with veteran community. I do designs that aren't just for veterans and first responders, that resonate with everyday people,
Yeah,
people in business, people in finance. It doesn't matter. I'm reaching out to anyone that I can and if, help spread the message. Um, and caveat the mission within, they don't only heal veterans and first responders, they heal mothers, nurses, doctors,
yeah,
athletes, addicts, alcohol related people. It doesn't matter. It's just my community is veterans, and that's all I really know right now. And I'm trying to branch out as much as I can to help everyone, because if everyone knew what this medicine did
Yeah.
for people, it heals trauma, and everybody has trauma. You can't compare trauma, and I learned that. And so I'm trying to I want to make it as big as possible.
Yeah, I think that that's really important. It's not a measuring stick of is yours worse
No,
or more significant than mine or vice versa, because it's how you
yeah,
processed it, right?
yeah,
And how
yeah,
and
absolutely.
that's one thing I've learned through this journey. When you talk, so
Yeah,
we talk about this, right? Like, so I've had Wiz on, right? And for those of you who don't know, Wiz
yeah,
Buckley, he super cool dude. He's talked about how he's gone on one of these retreats, and he
hmm,
shared his personal journey and his journey of he calls it sitting with the medicine.
yeah,
And people are like, oh, I don't get it. How is it medicine? They're like, isn't it a drug? And that's a common question. And I'm not
yeah.
educated enough, just to be completely transparent, to articulate a formal position on this. Here's what I do know. I know that I know firsthand people that have gone and done such things. And I'm saying things because there's a wide net of different types of options.
Hmm.
There's ayahuasca, or ayahuasca, excuse
Yeah,
me. I said the wrong. Ayahuasca.
ayahuasca. Yeah,
There's ibogaine. There's ketamine.
hmm, hmm.
There's probably a couple others that I don't remember off. Cybacillin.
Cybacillin. Yeah.
There's and here's what else I do know. I know that the U.S. government spends $7 million a minute trying to solve this problem. I know that post traumatic stress disorder is real.
Hmm.
I know that there has to be a way other than pharmaceutical pills to try.
Hmm.
And
There
I
is.
know that like this is in my heart. And I hear stories of people that I know personally that have gone and done these things. And I'm generalizing again because it's a wide variety of things. And the stories that they have been able to personally tell me are like unbelievable. And
Yeah.
I like they're and I know now that they're starting to consider it at the VA and they're investing
Oh yeah.
money into understanding. And I know that there's finally starting to become it's not even a grassroots following anymore. It's
Yeah. There's an active presidential candidate whose platform is legalizing psychedelics. Kennedy. Not pushing politics on your
no,
podcast.
that's a
That's
fact.
his platform, and that's huge. Yeah, he's one of the top three runners right now, and that's his platform. A huge part of
And
it.
there's just a lot more attention on it is what I'm really getting at.
Yeah.
And when I heard Wiz explain it to me, when he told me he went down there with one of the Luttrell brothers, and he actually did it with Marcus. And for those
Yeah.
of you who don't know, Marcus Luttrell is he's one of the greatest American heroes of all time. he I just got goosebumps. Shit. If I didn't have a long sleeve shirt on, I'd show you. And chills. Navy SEAL. They made a movie about him called The Lone Survivor, and he is now infamously known as the Lone Survivor. And he has like his own series of stuff called Team Never Quit, because he never quit against all odds. And when him and Wiz went down
Oh,
to do this, I guess they sat with it together, and they sat with it means like they took the medication, aka known as one of the choices that we just discussed, because I don't know which one specifically it was.
I believe it was
Um,
Ibogaine. That's the one I did.
and Wiz explains his personal journey of like how he saw his sister again and how he was happy and how it saved his life. I have
Mm-hmm.
another friend who shared with me it saved his life. Tim, you're telling me it saved your life.
Saved my life 100%. I owe everything to it and the people who facilitated it. They're incredible people. The medicine is incredible. It's natural. And just a side note, I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. I never smoked marijuana, nothing. So I didn't, in this medicine, it's not like a party drug. It's all medically done. You're on an IV. You have a heart monitor on the whole time. You're being monitored 24/7 by doctors and nurses. It's not something you do at a rave or a party. This is medicine. It is brain surgery reset without any instruments. You take a capsule of this medicine, which comes from a root of a tree in Gabon, Africa, and you can't reproduce this. You can't synthetically make this. That's why Big Pharma isn't happy about it. That's why it's not in America right now. So it's very ceremonial the way you do it, and very professionally monitored. 100% saved my life. It fixed me. It got me off of every single pharmaceutical. I was on 15 different medications a day for my head pain, tinnitus, TBIs. I'm off everything. It it saved my life. It saved my relationship. It saved my kids from growing up without a father. It's saved so much, and I'm happy. I would never, before I took this medicine, I would never share any of this. I'd never be vulnerable. Never share any of my military career. Nothing. I'd never talk on a podcast or a FaceTime call. I promise you that 3 months ago I never would have. Yeah. It's enlightened me. It was a terrible experience during my journey because I had to revisit all the traumas and the traumas I thought I forgot about. Uh, I had to see all the masks I worn for the way I acted towards certain people and friends and the different, persona I'd put on. I released all that. That's exhausting to do. Um, I'm for the first time ever being able to be myself and happy and don't stress out over the little things. I used to sweat over things thinking about finances, whatever. What am I going to do at work? Or am I going to lose my clearance because I can't pay my bills? Or oh, so and so died, or this didn't work. It's you can manage life so much better because you will still have stress. You're human. You live in a society where problems occur every time, but you don't just go down to Mexico and get this medicine and you're done. You integrate back into society. You talk to people. There's a whole program to help you move forward and build your better self, and it's very important.
Can you
Yeah.
share, or are you willing to share, like, what was the actual experience like?
Sure. How
Man,
much time do you got?
the mic's yours, brother. I told you this.
um, yeah.
What did
So,
you experience?
like
What
I
does it
said,
feel like? Like what for those like myself? Like I'm just
so
curious as
just
hell.
so every yeah, just so everyone knows, before you go down there, you have to do a screening call with, a doctor, make sure you're good to go and take this medicine. You tell them what medications you're on. They help you wean off of certain things because the medicine is very potent. Ibogaine is considered the grandfather of plant medicine. It's very harsh. It will get it will get what it needs to get out of you for you to heal. Ayahuasca, on the other hand, is very gentle. It's the grandmother of plant medicine. I've never done it, but that's what people say who have done it. So you go down there. First thing they do, they check your blood, your urine, make sure you don't have anything in your system that's going to counteract with it. They put an IV stent in you, and they weigh you because per your kilograms, whatever milligrams per kilograms is the amount of the ibogaine plant medicine that they put in a capsule, like a vitamin capsule. And so later in the night, when they're ready for it, you to start it, you take the capsule. And it's supposed to take an hour and a half for it to kick in. I was nervous as hell. I was anxiety ridden. I was like, as soon as I took it, I was like, oh man, like I don't belong here. Like that was my first thing. Like we'd sit in the circle and like tell our intention stories and whatnot. I'm like, guys, I don't think I need to be here. I don't deserve to be here. Like, and that's where like this big CAG guy, like, before Delta was a thing, he put me in my place. He's like, trauma is trauma and you have it and you need to be here. If you're here, it's for a reason. And, and that really stuck with me. He's a great guy, by the way. He wasn't being an ass. He's like really needed, he really wanted me to go through it. So I took it and, I fought it every step of the way. Um, I could not let go of not being in control of something because I'm not a control freak, but I need to have a plan, a secondary, tertiary plan. I need to be able to get out of something. I need to know where I'm at. And I felt it coursing through my veins. I could just feel it. I heard a little humming in my ear, and I was like, nope, reverse this right now. Like, I'm like telling the doctors, I'm like, dude, get this out of me. Like, how do I stop? And they're like, dude, just let it be, let it be. I never let it be. The medicine beat me in submission until I let it be. Um, and I saw like the worst stuff. It started off actually really cool. It was like cartoon, like little reindeer and bunnies running in the like a winter wonderland forest. I'm like, oh, this isn't bad. All right, cool. And then all of a sudden there was a wagon that got pulled in front of my view, like a little kid's wagon, and it was all cartoon, like it was like cartoon shape, and it was the most, it was filled with the most grotesque things you could think of: rotten flesh, burning babies, hearts, eyes, brains, guts. I could smell it, I could taste it, and it kept being pulled in front of my view, and it was stuff that I've witnessed overseas, pretty much, and and that just switched my brain real quick. Reason why I went down to Mexico for this treatment is because of my. I don't call it PTSD. It's not a disorder. It's an injury. I call it PTSI because you're not born with this like a disorder. It's an injury, and so I remember when I had my newborn son in my arms for the first time. It's supposed to be like the most beautiful moment, right? You're supposed to be
I
happy and all that stuff when you have your
I
kid.
remember it. Not for you, but for me.
Yeah. So what I saw when I held my kid for the first time was an Ethiopian baby ripped apart because that's what I saw and was in my mind. It was that starving kid that died on the street. That's what I saw when I held my kid. Every time I couldn't be happy that I had a healthy newborn baby because of the stuff I witnessed and know that other people are suffering from. and that was really hard for me. Uh, so that's when I knew, like, oh wow, I really am messed up. I never acknowledged it or whatnot. Uh, I had tinnitus so bad. I was holding my baby once, and it just took me out, and I almost dropped him. Like it bring me to my knees like every night. Couldn't think, couldn't breathe. Worst night terrors for years. My wife is a saint for staying with me and helping with me. But anyways, so I was seeing stuff like that, and then it would just go to it, like you could see different like levels of the universe or whatnot of my vision. I felt like I was like trapped and like things were going by me, and I was really claustrophobic. I got in a really bad diving accident. Claustrophobia really got me. So that I suffered with that for a while, like severely. So while I was under the medicine, I remember being in a tunnel with a train going by me, and I couldn't move. If I moved, I would be ripped apart. And I was stuck like that, and I was just so anxiety ridden. And then it would like flash into something else, and I finally saw an image of my wife and my baby, and I was like, oh, thank God, it's something nice and beautiful. And it was like comforting for a second. And as soon as it was comforting, they started burning alive. Like the image, the picture turned into like a real thing. And this was things I saw, but I was resonating with my real life. So I had to overcome all this stuff. And everybody's is different. Not everybody's is this bad. I just had a lot of stuff going on here and here. Um, but moving forward, couple hours after I was kind of getting out of the bad stuff, and I was able to like ask the medicine questions like, what's my purpose? Like, why am I here? What is going on and whatnot? And it felt great. Like I was able to move my neck. I had really bad pains. Like I couldn't move my neck like this 3.5 months ago. I couldn't, like I had immense shoulder problems and whatnot. And I purged all that out. I threw it all up. I got all that trauma out of me. Um, Crazy stuff. And I mentioned it earlier, like finances, like people stress about finances. That stuff builds up for years and years. It's in you somewhere. And I was able to overcome all that stress and anxiety, loss, death, just things I saw. Um, my buddy, my buddy was Austin. He was right next to me doing medicine, and his journey was only 2 hours long. Mine was 12 hours long. So he sat there and watched and listened to me for 10 hours or so. And he was like, dude, you were screaming, you were swearing, you were speaking in tongue, like you were throwing up, you were having a bad go at it. And I don't remember throwing up once. I don't remember that. It was wild. But the next day, it was like, it's supposed to be like a rest day. Like you're not supposed to do anything. Like you're just supposed to chill and relax. And I woke out of it so happy. Like I went through all that crap again, but I was like, holy crap. Like, I'm like, can I go outside? And the main nurse, Claire, she's like, oh, we got to wait for the vitamin pack in your IV to go through. Then we'll, in a couple hours, we'll walk you outside or something. Cause you can't walk really well, after you're just under. It's like being out of surgery. And as soon as she walked away, I turned that dial on my IV tick and made it go through as quick as possible. And she turned around and just started laughing. And I'm like, no, get me outside right now. And her and a couple other doctors carried me downstairs, put me on a patio outside looking over the Baja, nice, beautiful ocean. And I watched the sun rise and set. I sat out there and stared at the sun all day. And you're unplugged. You don't have your phones on you. You don't have internet. Nothing. And I breathed for the first time ever in my life and just cried like a baby. I felt so free. Like I'm tearing up right now. I felt so incredibly relieved. It was beautiful, and I will never forget that moment. And whenever I start getting stressed out in life now, I go back there. I go back there in my mind and just try to settle myself and breathe. It helps so much. but the medicine still works in you, the ibogaine, for months and months. It's resetting all the neuroplasticity in your brain. It's helping with all the connectivity. All the TBIs I had was keeping things from working and connecting the way it was supposed to. And right now it's all vibrant and connecting, and the Wi-Fi is good. Like it's I got the good signal. I don't take any medicine. I was on crazy medicines, man. Uh, being in and out of I was in NICO facility at Walter Reed, which is a great program, but they put a lot of medication in me, and I'm out of it now. Um, I'm all natural. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I have it's just beautiful. But it's helping with that, and it's really good for addicts as well. If you're an opiate user of 30 plus years or an alcoholic, it resets all that. It's so good for it heals people like that, and that's why it needs to be legalized in the states, because it could heal so many people like it was doing before the administration in the 50s or 60s classified it as a Schedule One drug, because it heals people of all pain, all trauma. Heard a story of a woman who lost a child. That's trauma right there. She was able to overcome and not have her nightmares anymore. She still obviously mourns and is sad, but she can function now. It helps people with Parkinson's. It's literally the only thing that helps people with Parkinson's and MS. It's a miracle. Um, so that's my mission. That's why I'm creating these skateboards. The skateboards I call it. It's art. It's art that has emotional meaning and backing. That if you want to skate, that's awesome, cool. If you want to hang on your wall, that's great. Proceeds help get people to this retreat and get fixed, get healed, learn, have the tools to help. I'm not paid by the Mission Within. I don't have any affiliation with them except a great relationship because I want to be, and they're great people, and it's just something I'm super
I can
passionate
feel it.
about. Um, yeah, man, I'm just I'm so much more present with my family now, and I'm laser focused on what I want to do, and I just know the garbage I don't need to be part of anymore, and like I wasn't an alcoholic or anything, but I have a vast whiskey collection, vast. I tried my favorite whiskey a couple like 2 months after the retreat just to have a sip. It tasted like straight
So
poison.
this would have been last
It
month.
tasted like yeah, it tasted like poison. I used to have 6 cups of coffee a day. I don't need coffee or caffeine. I still make my cup of coffee in the morning out of tradition, out of I like the taste still. I like it's therapy for me, boiling and weighing it, putting in the chemics. So I make my cup still and I still eat it, and I need to get some of
We'll make sure
yours.
that happens.
Uh but I don't need to be by the pot all day and drinking coffee to function. I don't have that addictiveness anymore. So it helps people in so many ways. So yeah, that's my mission. That's my why. That's kind of what I went through. It was terrible and very traumatic to go through all that stuff again. And it was like almost like a game. Like I'd have to after seeing a certain chapter of my life or something I saw at the end of it. It's like, oh, you didn't breathe correctly, and you tried focusing on something else, so you have to revisit it again. And I'd keep seeing that wagon get pulled in front of me thousands of times. And I got it out of me though. I finally was like, I finally just saw it all and
Man,
released
I'm
it.
so happy for you.
So that's just thanks, man. Yeah, I could talk forever about it. I journaled everything, but I hope I got the gist of it and how it
I
heals people and
I don't
saves
think that we
lives.
got the gist of it. I think we got the meat and potatoes of it.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank you for sharing
No,
because
thank you.
that
Thank you.
First off, I didn't do what one of my most favorite things in the world to do is on this podcast. Do you know what that is?
No.
I didn't thank you for your service. Tim, on behalf of this great nation, on behalf of everybody who's going to listen to this podcast and see you and I talk, and hear you and I talk, and to hear your story, I would like to thank you for them, for your service, for your dedication, and for your sacrifices to this great nation. It takes a lot. You just shared what it took. You just shared the tolls that it put on you personally. And I want you to know that I love you for it. I'm proud to call you a brother.
Thank you.
And
thanks, brother.
I just want you to know that everyone that's going to see this is saying thank you for your service too. And hold your head high on that. And I'm glad that you were able to throw the trash out. The garbage man.
Thank you.
The garbage man comes tomorrow and he's picking it all up. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. No, thank you
brother.
So much. I really appreciate that. And I hope if this reaches one person and helps.
That's all that matters. One person a day.
It. One person. Yeah.
When I started this podcast, I was like, man, will anybody listen to it? Can I just get one person? And so I believe that multiple people are going to want to hear this story. I believe that you're going to be an inspiration to people that you don't even realize. And that your story is going to resonate with a lot of people. And Tim, I think you just saved somebody's life by telling your story. And you don't even know it. And I'll never know it either. But what we just did right there is the level of impact that just happened, I can guarantee saved someone's life.
Powerful, man.
I know it. I can feel it in my heart. Because somebody needed to hear that message. And I'm honored to have done that. Now this brings us to our final question. I actually got a couple of them. What does it take for me to get one of those awesome boards?
So I have a website, www.berserkerbuilt.com.
Awesome.
I have a story, my reason. I got everything about the mission within on the website. I got the boards. I do a lot of posting on my Instagram, daily stories, testimonials from other people who've purchased the boards. And like I posted one today of one of my mentors, Mike, with Veteran Woodco, an amazing dude who he actually helped me get to the mission within because, yeah, he's just an amazing guy. I think you're going to want to have him on your podcast one day.
He did reach out to me.
But yeah, so he's a great dude. But so on my Instagram, I'm really active on that. I have a Facebook, but I don't mess with Facebook often. So my website, berserkerbuilt.com. And then my Instagram, it's berserker_built. And maybe you can put it in the comments.
But that doesn't answer my question.
Some people.
Yeah. How do I get
What's
one?
That? Like I don't know. Go on the website.
You put me to the website. All right, I'll go to the website. I want to get one.
Yeah, go on the website. We can talk after this. I also do custom boards for people if they have their own message or inspiration that they want. I will convey it for them with art. Even if they have a podcast or a coffee shop or a business or a sports team, I could do custom stuff as well, and I will still donate part of the proceeds to the mission within, even if the artwork on the board has nothing to do. Any proceeds that I make off of it goes to the
That's
mission
phenomenal.
within.
Tim, you're a wonderful human being. I am so honored to have you now be an alumni of Leaders Lead, right?
I'm honored.
Like,
I'm honored. I really am. This is an amazing thing you have going on, Zach.
thanks, brother. And it's totally a labor of love. And
Yeah. I know it's not easy to do all this and coordinate. I
no, I
appreciate
appreciate
you.
you. And now it leads me to my very favorite thing on this podcast. You ready?
Let's hear it.
What can I do for you? What can this community of Leaders Lead do? We're building a community. Like, legit.
Yeah.
Remember, I told you just a second ago that I didn't know if anybody would watch it? Like, there's like
Yeah.
people that actually like click to watch it now. And so somebody is going to hear this message outside of you or I.
Hmm.
What can we do to help you? How can we support you?
Yeah. Honestly, just by doing this, having this platform that you just presented with this podcast and sharing my story, sharing my information and my why and how to help, that's huge. It's absolutely huge. Um, Networking, uh, reposting stories or uh, helps a lot. Just to broaden the band of people who see this. Um, on the website, I also have a GoFundMe just to help with startup costs and get an inventory so I can make a bigger
Okay.
impact. Uh, Share that. Feel free to, um, and just keep doing what you're doing with this and helping people share their stories, share their failures and successes, and help it reach more people because there are people that listen. There are people that need a message. So I'm just thankful for you, thankful for anything you do in the future.
I appreciate you, brother.